For some of my final days of prayer for the month of October, I'm going to share prayers that were either spoken by Jesus or shared by Jesus in the context of a parable. And that's where today's prayer is found. It's from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 18, verses 9 through 14. So listen first to the scripture. Jesus also told this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and regarded others with contempt. Two men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee, standing by himself, was praying thus: God, I thank you that I am not like other people, thieves, rogues, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give a tenth of all my income. But the tax collector, standing far off, would not even look up to heaven, but was beating his breast and saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his home justified rather than the other. For all who exalt themselves will be humbled, but all who humble themselves will be exalted. This wonderful parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector, I think, has a lot to say to us about prayer and both how we regard ourselves and other people. And you notice that the context or the premise for the parable is Jesus speaking to people who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and regarded others with contempt. It's sad to say that in our culture and in our country right now, there are many, many people who regard and treat other people with contempt. And this is seen by people in the media. There are many people in the media, on radio, on television, who have made themselves millionaires by preaching and promoting contempt for different people. Jesus and the Bible tell us we should never regard anyone with contempt. And it's far more important to be harder on ourselves than it is on others. And the theme for today is the type of prayer that's heard. And the prayer that's heard is not one of self-righteousness and self-justification of, boy, I'm grateful I'm not like all those other terrible sinners. Look at who I am and all that I do. The prayer that is heard is a prayer of humility. God, be merciful to me, a sinner. If you ever want the assurance that God will hear your prayer, that is the only sentence that you need. God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I pray that your prayer life will be shaped much more by the prayer of the tax collector than the prayer of the Pharisee.